Green interwebs, this is Jacket K, and here's the dealio with what I'm uploading here. So a couple weeks back, I finally upgraded my capture card to go into the realm of 4K. It's been a slow process of first upgrading my computer to be able to process videos better, then getting a new capture card to actually be able to record in higher quality, and now I'm finally getting around to actually testing out some recordings with the setup. So I just hooked it up to whatever I was playing casually, specifically what you're seeing on screen now, and just played a few rounds of the co-op mode in the new Mario Party to see just how good everything turns out and make sure the settings are the way I want before I actually use it for anything serious. So that's why you're seeing this video of Mario Party Jamboree. I recorded a handful of them, and since I need a little buffer, considering that I spent all my time editing videos for Overseer October, and even then, like, I don't have that much quantity-wise to show for it. So sure, some random Mario Party Jamboree footage. So I have like 4 videos of this co-op mode, so I'll probably spread them out throughout the next couple weeks to fill the gap that's inevitably going to happen between Overseer October and getting back into editing and uploading Pokemon Emerald Road. That's been a whole ordeal in itself, and like YouTube as a whole has been a bit more of a, I still say I'm in a little bit more of an experimental phase of finding a vibe between going through my journey of getting back into being a game developer and this YouTube gaming commentary thing that I've been doing for, wow, last I checked, over 13 years, but probably more than that at this point. Actually, I quickly looked up the date that I uploaded the first episode of Pokemon XD, the very first one, and it was more like 15 years that I've been doing this jig. Where does the time go? And should I have been focusing that time onto game development in the start? I don't know. It's a long story. There's reasons for everything I did, the highs and the lows, but that's besides the point. Hey everyone, I jumped 4 days in the future to say, screw it, I'm gonna just turn this into a game and chill. The month of October is almost over by the time I'm recording this, and I had the mic set up to do some recordings to finish up post-commentary voiceover for Emerald Rogue so I could finish editing a video or two. So I figured, screw it, let's get all the commentating done today. With how fickle my mic has been just today alone, I might as well just get all the recording done while I still have a microphone to work with. Ironically enough, just as I was about to say that last line, the frickin' mic wouldn't work for like 5 seconds as I was trying to just jumble around things, and somehow that made everything work together. So maybe I can do this all in one take. Might be a little bit of a problem because I haven't even pulled up any notes, but let's get the video schedule stuff out of the way. Essentially, don't count in any videos this month. We're going back to no particular plan of schedule. As I mentioned though, I do have a video of Emerald Rogue almost done, so that will go up this month for sure, but I don't know about anything else. Oh yeah, the Legends of ZA series that I've been kinda doing. It's been so long, I almost forgot to talk about it. So here's the thing. I'm a little conflicted, because like I still have some scripts. I think I even did the voiceovers for them already. I just have to edit them together. I'm a little conflicted about if I actually want to continue that series though. It's fun, and it's nice to keep doing until we actually start getting official information about the game, but then there were those... you know what I'm talking about. If you've been in the Pokemon community, you probably already know. It's the whole leak situation. I'm worried that if I start making content relating to Legends of EA, I'm just inviting myself to get spoiled of something that was revealed in those leaks. I do not know if anything was actually revealed in the leaks. I just know that there were major security breaches which kind of threatened employees, which is its own problem, could use the internet to actually caring about the employees working in companies enough to actually keep that in mind in discussion and not just go, ooh, shiny new Pokemon news, let's spoil the internet on all of that. Point being that even beyond the point, even if jobs weren't being threatened or employees' well-beings weren't being threatened by that, I don't know if I want to invite the idea of conversation on Pokemon Legends EA, because I've been staying away from spoilers. Leaks, rumors, the likes. The only things I want to see about the games are official trailers. And I am worried that making video shorts about Legends EA is just inviting people to spoil me on stuff in the comments, especially in the YouTube short environment community. Oh wow, I went on rambling about that way longer than I was expecting. Long story short, it probably won't stop me, but it has discouraged me. So we'll see how I feel. Worst case scenario, I can just turn off the comments. But if it takes me longer to get back into the swing of that, or I just don't do it at all, now you know why. So yeah, if you couldn't tell by how all over the place my mind is about what I want to upload this month, that's a pretty good indication of why I'm not sure what I'll be able to upload, if anything, this particular month. Doesn't help that I still have some ideas that I want to do for Overseer October that I wasn't able to finish editing this month, so maybe I'll throw some of those in the mix too. But I think like a biggest priority will be to finally finish Dawn of Jin, so I can finally move on from that and actually start take all that time I was spent messing around with Golden Sun modding tools and invest that time into actually learning Got It proper. Yeah, that would be nice. Essentially, November will be catching up on everything that I've been meaning to get done this year, but put on hold while I try to do stuff for Overseer October. Unfortunately, I didn't get as many videos up on the channel relating to that as I would like. A lot of my quote-unquote activity with that unofficial event was actually more so on social medias like Blue Sky and Tumblr, where I took part in, I wouldn't call it an art prompt, because the art part was optional, but it was one of those art prompts revolving around original creations in particular. And I was looking for a way to actually do some posts on social, because I knew I wouldn't be able to make videos all the time, or as frequently as I would like, for October, and figured that something like an art prompt would be a fair middle ground. Turns out, like, I got real into it and invested about as much time into making those posts as I did into the videos themselves. It was a nice experience that I wouldn't take back, but it was a bit of an investment that tied me away from the usual thing I do. I did have the week off, but ironically enough, when I have time off, there are certain activities that I put less time into, even though hypothetically you think I have more time to do them. Dawn is a good example because I'm at the part where most of my work on it is playtesting and fine-tuning certain elements before I release it, and the majority of that playtesting is always done on the treadmill. The thing is though, I usually do the treadmill on days that I can't go out and actually just walk in the park directly or something, which works out well on work days when I'd rather not make a trip out and save some of that time that I would normally spend driving out to a park to walk. As you might guess, that's not an issue when I have time off. So I was out walking pretty much every day, minus yesterday. And that pretty much was all spent finishing up the last Overseer October video that I actually want to get out in October, along with finishing up the Shadow Generations portion of Sonic X Shadow Generations. Reflecting back on things, there's a lot that actually went on this week that I had off. Oh wow, we're already this far into the match and I've already rambled on for this much. You know what? Screw it. I was initially gonna just upload each of these Bowser sections as their own video, but you know what? This is Game and Chill. I haven't even gone close to running out of things to talk about, especially with the whole week off. I think I'm just gonna combine the first two into one video, call it Game and Chill, and the other two Bowser Jamboree Kaboom sessions that I did, those can be their own individual videos, and maybe without commentary. I'll decide on that later. We're already in bonus time, so there's not enough time for me to fit everything I want to talk about into just one of these online multiplayer sessions. So enjoy the extra long feature. Anyways, back to what I've been up to. On top of the projects I was already taking on. Pretty much like 3 games, well 2, 3 if I count mods, that came out around the time that I took off from work. So even if I look at it purely from the perspective of video games, there was plenty for me to do during this time off. We have Mario Party Jamboree, as you can tell from the gameplay footage. That came out a little bit before my time off, but early enough that the game was still fresh on my mind, and there's still plenty for me to do. Technically there's still plenty for me to do, but I think I've already exhausted the co-op mode, and let's just say I had some bad experiences with my first few boards in Mario Party, so I'm a little hesitant to step out of my comfort zone, which is this particular co-op mode. Bowser's Kaboom Blast, I think it's called. Last time I mentioned it, I had to actually have a page that said the name of the game mode for me to memorize it. But despite the fact that I can't seem to memorize it, I have been having a lot of fun with it. It's just a shame that there's only like 3 maps and a set number of mini-games. The latter isn't that big of an issue, but I definitely could see it getting old if I'm just playing by myself or online with other people on the same 3 maps and doing absolutely nothing else in the game. So, I don't know. There's also a single player mode, which isn't amazing by GameCube standards, but pretty decent by modern Mario Party standards. So, maybe I'll dive back into that and give it a little more time. I only played up to the first board, and the concept of boss fights at the end of each map seems kinda interesting, so I think that alone will probably be enough of an excuse to make that one of the next things I do in Mario Party. Assuming I don't find a way to actually rope up some friends into playing some boards. I don't know, I've never been good at actually putting time aside to actually play games with other people. That's why I've always seemed to rely on the online multiplayer so much, so like I don't have to bother friends or other people to work around my schedule, and I can just boot up a game and play online whenever I'm available to do the gameplays. It's a bit of a shame because I really like this mode. I don't know, I just like games where I can help people, as lame as that sounds. I'm always fascinated by those games that have like healer exclusive classes like MMOs or class-based shooters. The problem is I don't like those types of games, so I never really get a chance to play a game where I'm focused mostly on being support. And I see some elements of that in this game, but now I'm just chalking myself up or hyping myself up to wanting to play a game where I could exclusively be a white mage, just to finally live that fantasy and see if it's really as much hype as I keep dreaming it up to be. But hey, guess who got completely off tangent again? Yep, pointing at me. Maybe I can talk a bit about the other 2 games that I played. Second one was actually kind of a surprise. I forget if jdaster announced the date that it was coming out, or I was just dumb and completely forgot about it. But yeah, if you don't know jdaster, he does a lot of work in the Paper Mario modding community. His most famous project was Infinite Pit, not to be confused with Black Pit. But it was basically an infinite runner of Paper Mario, the Thousand Year Doors, Pit of 100 Trials. With some roguelike elements in it, with all the enemies being randomized, the partners you get, and stuff like that. That was a little tangent to say that he just released a new Thousand Year Door mod, which pretty much takes the things I liked about Infinite Pit and makes it into a much more fun gameplay loop, at least in my opinion. It's called Paper Mario Tower of Trials. It's a similar energy of a roguelike, where you climb up Hooktail's tower to fight Hooktail, with randomized enemy encounters, moves, abilities, and partners. But I feel like that he went the extra mile to an emphasis on new content for the game. You really just gotta see the trailer. It does a lot more justice than anything I could describe. For people who don't check out the video description though, I'll do my best. Where I would describe Infinite Pit more as a rogue-like, you know, L-I-K-E, I would describe Tower of Trials more as a rogue-lite. L-I-T-E, I think it's spelled. I don't think it's actually spelled light, but I'm gonna stop myself before I get super off tangent. Things do carry over in between runs, unlike in Infinite Pit. Not to mention, there's a whole bunch of new moves and abilities for you and your partners. Well, more emphasis on the partners, but there are a couple of newish badges that are sprinkled in throughout the mix of everything. And I just like the way that things are handled in general. For example, like, you do have a bit of BP, but when you find moves like Sleep Stomp or Multi-Jump, they're actually counted as abilities you unlock. They're not counted as badges that you equip. And badges are exclusively saved for secondary effects or passive abilities. And I think that's a really cool system, especially for the roguelike element. What's especially neat is that there's a whole bunch of brand new partner abilities, and they stack. Like, you can have more than 4 abilities on your partner, unlike the base game. And not only is it neat, but I think it's balanced out by the fact that you're not guaranteed to get every single partner in every single run. So it kind of makes you think of your partners in a different way than normal. And like, part of the reason I find appeal in ROM hacks and mods is because they take a game that I already enjoy and add enough new elements to actually make it feel like a new experience. So yeah, if you're into Paper Mario mods, I would highly recommend checking out Tower of Trials. For now though, I think I'm going to move on to talking about the third game that I've played during my time off, because otherwise I'm not going to have any time to talk about it. And it's something I would be a shame if I didn't have time to talk about, because I've been looking forward to at least the Shadow portion of Sonic X Shadow Generations. Ever since it was first announced, like, the more they showed of gameplay and trailers of that, the more hype and exciting that it seemed to get along the way. But I thought it was kind of lame that you had to pay extra to get the game early, so I just didn't do it. I figured I was busy enough with all the other videos and game-related projects I've been working on, so I definitely had plenty to keep me busy while I was waiting. It's just a shame that the actual release date didn't come out until near the end of my long weekend off. Because as much as I would have loved to have more time to play it, I suppose everything did work out in the end, considering I'm talking about how I actually beat the main campaign. I don't think I was supposed to though. That 2 to 3 hour gameplay session I had yesterday of it certainly didn't help make the game last longer. Before I talk about how I feel about the game, am I the only one who struggled with the controls, or has it just been that long since I've last played a Sonic game that... or just a big AAA game that's not Nintendo? Something about the game's controls just didn't click with me, and I feel bad about that. It just felt like there was too many button combinations, and none of them really clicked in my mind. Of course, like any game, the more I played it, the more comfortable I got with it, but I never felt like it fully clicked. It is worth noting that I can't even remember the last Sonic game I played. I'm fairly certain it was Mania, because my second guess would have been Sonic Lost World, and even though I didn't play that until much later, Mania definitely was the more recent game that I've played. Yeah, not even Mania Plus, just Sonic Mania. I heard a lot of great things about Frontiers, but if you know me, especially from other gaming shows, I'm not that big of a fan of open world games, and I don't think I would have liked Frontiers purely on the concept of being an open world game. Legends Arceus just barely hits that sweet spot between open-endedness, but not to the point where I kept feeling like I got lost all the time. And that's as smooth as transitions I'm gonna get to talking about one of my pet peeves of Sonic X Shadow Generations, because here's the deal. If I look at it from a more objective lens, Shadow Generations is a great game, an amazing game. It's just when I start to think of it more personally or emotionally, subjectively I think is the word I'm looking for, it starts to fall apart, not necessarily because of any one bad thing, but a lot of little nitpicks I've had along the way, and I've actually, like, had trouble just sleeping last night, thinking about this so much. Because I definitely enjoyed the game enough to play it to the end. Because I can say confidently that this is the best game featuring Shadow that we've gotten since Sonic Adventure 2, if not better than Sonic Adventure 2. It's just that alone doesn't save it completely from my criticism. And I'm not commentating over a third Mario Party Jamboree video to talk about this now. So let me summarize. I've already talked about the controls and open world a little bit. I don't know, there's anything particular wrong with it. Again, if I look at it from an objective standpoint, I could argue that it's a great system, but when playing it for myself, I felt like I spent more time getting lost and getting distracted by side things than getting to the part of the game that I actually wanted to play. If there's one thing that'll dissuade me from a video game, it's getting lost, especially if I'm not planning on it. I'm sure I can think of exceptions, but I'm running out of time as is. I'm incredibly mixed about Black Arms being the main antagonist because I'm one of the people who just wish that whole part of Shadow's lore was just whisked away out of existence. But in game, they do an incredibly good job with it, so I can't hold it against the game too much. I'm also a little mixed on the visual and audio quality of it, but that's definitely a subjective thing. This is the first game that I've played on this new computer, so the visual quality is a lot higher than I'm normally used to. And I'm mixed on the music because on one hand, it does fit Shadow well, but on the other hand, it's not the type of music I'm used to listening to. Oh man, I'm gonna need to dedicate a whole Game and Chill video or something to just talking about this game, aren't I? Because I do not feel content with the way I described everything. I haven't even talked about the parts that I actually like about the game. Did I at least do a decent job explaining why I'm mixed on a game I was looking so forward to and would objectively say is good? Hopefully, if I at least accomplished that, then this whole ramble on the game wasn't a complete waste. If I want to commentate over the rest of these Mario Party videos, I at least got something that'll keep me busy for an entire video. Awesome, we're ending this off on one of the best rankings I've got. So yeah, thank you all for tuning in for this very improv post-com Game and Chill video. And look forward to more Mario Party Bowser co-op mode, whatever it's called. With or without commentary throughout the whole video, I have yet to decide. Until then though, yeah, I'm already Legends, so the gameplay's already outdated. Take care.